Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Goa Ahead. And the matter that we are discussing this week is whether Pramod Sawant government has started on a right note. The Chief Minister has presented his first budget of his second term and he has sworn in 3/4 of his cabinet. The portfolios as of now are yet to be distributed and we need to see who are rest of the three ministers, and there are many aspirants for those three positions. I have four eminent panelists with me in the studio. First, I have lawyer and political analyst, Advocate Siddharth Samant. Siddharth, welcome. Next, I have with me in the studio Professor Dr. Manoj Kamath, economist and political analyst. Manoj, welcome. Joining me online is Advocate Cleophas Almeida Coutinho, lawyer and political analyst, and last but definitely not the least, senior journalist Derek Almeida. Derek, I'll start with you. When you look
As
at the
always.
beginning, when you look at the beginning of this government, the Pramod Sawant 2.0, as we call it, what are the salient features that come to your mind as of now?
Pramod, what we are trying to analyze here is whether Pramod Sawant is started on the right foot. I wouldn't say right foot or wrong foot, but I think it's the old foot that is continuing to go forward. You see, why I say this is because with a chief minister, there are two things. One is the chief minister is like the CEO of the state, so he has to manage the state. And all CMs tend to do that. But the second aspect of any CM is the legacy he's trying to create and what he wants to leave behind. Like in the case of Manohar Parrikar, it was IFI and bridge building. In the case of Digambar Kamath, it was the regional plan, South Goa Hospital, the South Goa Collectorate. What is the CM, the present CM, trying to do, that will, cement his place in political history of Goa. And with this budget, I see nothing of that sort. It is just management from the last 2 years, which he's carrying on into the next 5 years. There are opportunities for him to make his mark, but he doesn't seem to have seized any of those opportunities.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Cleophas Bab, how do you look at it?
I entirely agree with Derek. See, this was an opportunity for the Chief Minister because of numbers. In adverse circumstances, he has got 20. Another government headed by somebody else is just not possible. So for him, it was Pramod Sawant, and for us, it was Pramod Sawant only, because BJP went into elections under his leadership. He had 20 plus 3 independents were almost in his pocket. The MGP has given support to him. So with this, according to me, he was facing no heat of power. But somehow it appears he is facing that heat. I do not know why. Up to now, the portfolios are not getting distributed. Up to the swearing in took such a long time. It looks like the government started preparing the budget much before the swearing in. Otherwise, it was not possible to give the budget the next day. It was just not possible. But immediately after the results and immediately after the government was known, they must have started preparing the budget. But carrying what Derek said, I would like to take this a bit further. See, with such kind of mandate, it was not required for the government to bring in these elements of divisiveness. Say the 20 crores amount set aside for temples destroyed during Portuguese time. Satish Dhawan's yesterday's message on Ambedkar is again not on the right tone. See, we are at such a point in history that this old game of somehow create divisiveness, hatred, has to give way to inclusiveness. And this 20 mandate across communities, across castes, was such an opportunity. I do not know why it is being frittered away.
Okay, I think that's a very, very interesting. We'll delve deeper into that point in a while. Manoj, politically, economically, whether this government has begun on the right note.
I must give some kind of credit to this government first. First, understand that this within 48 hours when the government comes to power, someone is presenting the budget. So this budget cannot be looked at from the political angle. Point number one, because Council of Ministers is yet to be fully formed. Portfolio allocations is yet to be made. This budget came in without any budget, memorandums. There was no wish list presented by the industry. Of course, there was no chance for it. If Pramod Sawant had to prepare this budget, start preparing this budget earlier, you would have accused him of saying that the caretaker government is preparing the budget. So where is the scope for the new government to prepare the budget? But then it was a necessity that the budget had to be presented before the financial year, before the beginning of the financial year, and this budget was presented. So it seems to me that budget is not prepared by the politician. It is not prepared by Dr. Pramod Sawant. This budget is presented on the behalf of the government, which is prepared by the bureaucrats. So that's point number one. Now what the budget looks to me, this budget looks to me as that the Parrikar era has ended completely, politically and economically also. Because if you look at the Parrikar way of looking at economics, we have seen a complete deviation. Earlier, before the elections, we have seen that there was also a complete deviation to Parrikar way of handling elections. But everything said and done, Pramod Sawant has somewhere proved that he is the leader. He can perform in adverse circumstances, and he has started on a note. Whether it is a good note or the bad note, then we will have to analyze the budget very deeply. But one thing is clear, when the government is at its magnificent majority, the idea is clear. You have seen the kind of delay to announce the chief minister. We have seen the kind of abnormal delay in order to announce the ministers to distribute the portfolios. And what is the message what Delhi is giving? The message what Delhi is trying to give is there is minimum agenda you will drive at the local level. Agenda will come from the center, and therefore there is little scope for all the leaders, including the chief minister, to do his maneuvering in next 5 years term.
Siddharth, both economically and politically, before we go deeper into the issues raised by the panelists, how are you looking at the beginning of this government, the 2.0 of Pramod Sawant?
First of all, the time that was available, as the point was made by Mr. Kamath, the time that was available for preparation of budget was too short. Within that short time, he has presented an excellent budget. Now, I do not have any information to say that it is prepared by a bureaucrat and not by. In fact, it does not look that it is prepared by a bureaucrat. It looks that he has presented it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been as controversial as Mr. Cleophas had made out to be. Now, kindly see the social reformation schemes and social sector schemes that 3 cylinders, then electricity, then allocation to the panchayat, then electric buses, then water. All these social security schemes and people.
You are saying these are political schemes.
So these are political. These are meant for marginalized and deprived citizens of our state, and therefore to say that this government is a point was being, of course, when the point comes of counter, it will be taken. But this, as far as on political count is concerned, this is an excellent budget. Now, as far as economics is concerned, the Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister, and this government has been making repeatedly again a point about Swayambhurna Goa, about Sarkar Tumcha Dari. These are all aspects of economic governance. It is all aspects of economic fulfillment. And in that, within the limited time that was available, full marks to the government. In fact, that this budget could be, because there is a constitutional mandate that it is required to be presented, that within this short time this could be presented in a very effective and a decisive manner.
Politically, yes, Glover, I'll come to you. Siddharth, politically, one important point that Manoj also raised is the delay. Delay in deciding the legislature party leader, delay in distributing the portfolios. So the message is clear that the agenda will be driven by center and local leadership will have the execution powers. Do you agree with that?
How does one say that the delay is attributed to the center only? Well, is it in a democratic process, if certain things are to be discussed, deliberated, and then decided, is it anti-democratic? But did you want, in fact, if the center had to push this agenda, it would have been ready on the day one. How do you say, in fact, this is an indication that these things are being discussed at a local level in a democratic fashion? How does one say that it is coming from the center? And if it was coming from the center, why would it not come?
Yeah, if
Because-
it was, you are saying if
and
it was coming from the
ultimately-
center, it would have been a diktat to be implemented. Okay. Yeah, Cleophas, you wanted to make a point.
No, I was only saying that there was no obligation to present the budget in the form that has been done, because there could be a vote on account
Vote on account.
for a limited period, and thereafter much discussion. What Professor Manoj Kamath tells us, that memorandums of industry could be considered, memorandum of other interested groups could be considered. Secondly, what was promised in the manifesto could be considered, and a holistic view could be taken for giving a full-fledged budget. And over a period of 1 month or 2 months, there could be a vote on account for which the administration would be run based on the agenda set up earlier. There was no such a tearing hurry to present the budget. Of course, it is a browning point to say that yesterday I have been sworn in, today I have presented the budget. I mean, that way it's a great browning point. Full marks to-
Derek, what do
to that
you
now.
think could be the reason behind this hurry? What statement Chief Minister wanted to make? That I am continuing, I was there in the previous term, I don't need much time to carry forward that same administration, I can prepare a full-fledged budget. Because he could have very well taken vote on account, he chose not to.
I think the statement the Chief Minister is trying to make is that this is a continuous process from the previous government to the present government. The other statement that he's trying to probably make, or doesn't want to make, but it seems that it has already been made, is that this whole preparation of a budget is a very routine thing. Lot of the schemes and lot of the announcements that he's made are not out of this world. They're routine. They're continuous process. Okay, so if you look at it wholly, he has not made any statement. There is no statement in this budget. This is just a continuous process from previous administration to the present administration. I agree with Cleophas. The way he said is he could have taken 2 months, or he could have taken 2.5 months and come out with a real mission statement. And he has just lost that opportunity. He could have focused on solar power. He could have focused on tourism. He could have focused on e-governance. These are terms that people just talk about, but there is nothing happening. There is no focus. There is no signature. There is no signature theme to this budget.
I asked that question, Derek, and I'll go to Manoj now before I go to Cleophas Bab again. Manoj, I asked that question precisely because of the political point you made. That there was a continuous argument because of the delay that whether somebody else is trying to control the political narrative post results. Through this budget, Chief Minister wanted to make a very clear statement. No, I am in charge. I can present this budget within 48 hours because I was the Chief Minister before the results also. Do you think that is the statement Chief Minister wanted to make? That I am in control here. The initial political ramifications of the results are over now and this is my administration. Do you think that was the purpose behind this?
Yeah, so if we take your statement as true, then it further strengthens what I have to say. When the center is trying to manage the state affairs, political state affairs, the economic affairs ought to be managed by the Chief Minister. He is responsible for day-to-day functioning. See, as I started off by saying, this seems to be an end of Parrikar regime. Now, Parrikar had some 2-3 salient characteristics within him. What is that? Every budget had a Parrikar stamp. You could see Parrikar's reflection, Parrikar's way of thinking. And he paid minute attention to each and every word, every allocation, and there was a logic behind every statement he made in his previous budgets. Point one. Point number two, all the decisions, whether it is respect to allocation of portfolios or choosing his council of ministers, were done instantly, and never ever in Goa's history there was such kind of an unprecedented delay. Now, the MLAs who have been elected this time, so if you really look at the quality of candidates what BJP has given this time, there seems to be that everyone is tamed already. Either they have been tamed because of their electoral compulsions. People like that of Babush, people like of Mrs. Montserrat, are already tamed. So there is no second option or next alternative which can be seen, which can ever be imagined. So Chief Minister's hands are already strengthened. So if he had to exercise his powers, nobody would have stopped him by now, because even earlier, within 1 or 2 days, the council was formed. So therefore, it seems that whatever would be the kind of crisis which people were perceiving between number 1 and number 2 is not to be seen. Is not to be seen because the centre has a clear agenda and has clear strategy about how to douse the fire. Now, the reason is simple why Chief Minister has presented his budget. He wanted to give an clear indication, so which we say it's just an effect or just an veil which he wanted to show that the power is in my hands and I know.
There's one more. I'll go to, before I go to Siddhartha, I'll go to Cleophas. There's one more very interesting political point about this debate. 3/4 of the cabinet has been sworn in. The portfolios are yet to be given, and Chief Minister has gone ahead and made the allocations for the portfolios. Do you think he also wanted to make that statement? Although you are there in the cabinet, I have already decided what is there in store for your ministry. So you cannot get a portfolio later, come back to me and pressurize me to do something else. So he got a big stumbling block out of his way by, in a way, presenting this budget. When the revised estimate comes, we'll see. But at this point of time, I have made my plans clear. Do you think that was a political statement of this budget?
According to me, that is what he is also trying to say. But also look at the changes done to the passing of building plans yesterday. See, that passing of the building plans is to control the town and country planning portfolio. See, if you can ask me today, I have no doubt in my mind that in the allocation of portfolios, the Chief Minister would somehow keep Home and Finance with him. But looks like the only other portfolio in our state that matters, or rather the only portfolio that matters in our state, is the town and country planning portfolio. I don't think, see, all our elections are over how to control Goa, and that is being done through the town and country planning portfolio. So looks like what you are saying is right, that even yesterday, even before the
allocation.
Yes,
Yeah.
given the
So the Chief Minister has made budgetary allocations to the portfolio before he decides who the
and
minister
not only
is.
that, changes are made to the how plans would be passed.
Our plans would be passed before the portfolios are allocated.
The portfolio is being controlled.
Yeah. Siddharth, do you agree with that? This is a statement from the Chief Minister that I am the boss. I have given you the allocations. As far as the TCP circular is concerned, as Cleophas Bab mentioned, I am going to control things here. Even if you get a plum portfolio, do not think you can bypass me. Is that the message CM is giving to his cabinet?
Assuming he has given, what's wrong about it? Who is the captain? I mean, is he not supposed to decide that? Let us assume the worst. If the town and country planning minister was in place, is someone trying to say that thereafter Chief Minister would not be able to do what he has done yesterday? The Chief Minister was always empowered to do what he has done today. So therefore, please do not link to what has been made in budget as some kind of, it wouldn't have been possible if the town and country planning minister, whoever that man is going to be, was in his place. That has absolutely nothing. The Chief Minister is the captain of the team and he will set the findi depending upon the weather conditions,
Sir,
depending
the point
upon
is,
the
do you
pitch.
think what happened post results, it was imperative on this CM to make that statement?
No, I would look at it this way. A chief minister was required to, because presently the allocation of finance, allocation of other portfolios have not been made. A budget is a mandatory requirement that was required to be presented, and he has done so. To read something more than that is to just, trying to read something which does not exist.
Okay. The second part before I go to other panelists, Siddharth, is about the composition of this cabinet. Many people have said that out of these 9, 7 ministers are kind of imported. They have come from outside. They are not from the original BJP cadre. And probably only Chief Minister and Nilesh Kabral are two MLAs who are from the BJP with somehow their connection, long-term roots in the BJP. How do you look at this composition? As Manoj said, do you think this is completely a new BJP post Manohar Parrikar?
Question is to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now as far as this, I'll use the term globalization of ministers. This is something not happening for the first time. This is something which is going from late 70s to 80s to 90s. It has always happened. So people, these traditional people who have been getting elected for a long time, have been getting elected. Now presently they happen to be on this side of the fence. Therefore, certain kinds of stories have been floated in the market saying that no, these are from the other side. How are they going to survive in BJP kind of atmosphere? Well, these are all, were they not there present in the last elections or last government? Did they not function in the last government in the same BJP? So how is it going to make a difference? These are people who have been democratically elected by the people. They were with BJP at the time when they filed their nomination. They got elected in the BJP ticket. To say that once upon a time they were of some other party is hardly any, I mean, it's neither here nor there.
Derek, what do you feel when somebody raises these kind of questions about 7 of the 9 ministers being from quote unquote outside BJP? Siddharth Babu is saying this globalization of cabinet is not a new phenomenon. When it comes to BJP, why are we trying to give it a color?
You see, before the BJP actually came to power, both in Goa as well as India, it was always looked upon as this being far right. Okay. Secondly, it was looked at as being a party with a difference. Now, all that has changed. What has happened is the BJP has moved closer to the center, and this is what makes it very easy for people from other sides, from any other political party, to move in and move out of the BJP. The BJP now is more Congress than the Congress.
BJP is right of the center now.
Yes, it is closer to the center. So there will be people moving in and out. So that to me is not, when you look and say there are no people from the original BJP. What is the original BJP? And what is the BJP today? And this is the legacy of Manohar Parrikar. It's not over. In 2012, he conducted a beautiful experiment where he brought the BJP to the center, brought the minorities in, and created a mix of the whole, which made BJP now more acceptable to the larger masses of Goa than it was prior to that. So this whole point of having somebody from outside, somebody from here, somebody from there is going to happen. It's a process that will continue. And in a place like Goa, walking in of one party and walking out and going to another party and walking back again is something new.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing ideologically that separates one party from the other. They are all the same, moving closer to the center.
Clifford Bab, do you feel it's an unfair point to make when we say that 7 of these fellows do not have their roots in BJP? Is it unfair to this administration?
See, we are in a strange situation. The talent pool is limited. And from this limited talent pool, the chief minister has to make a choice. Now, this is also because we don't have a Vidhan Parishad where he can give ministry to somebody and then get him elected to the house. So we don't have a Vidhan Parishad. But given the situation that he was in, I would say that he could have made a better choice. Certain deadwood could have been out. Let us not name people. But still it could have been better. But then what happens is when it comes to ministry making, too many issues come into picture like caste composition, religion composition, regional composition.
Heavyweight composition.
Yes, and then in that case, the merit comes behind, merit falls behind. But in this particular case, he had, as I said, a great opportunity to overcome all that. And Manoj has used the right word. All of them were tamed. See, at a time when all of them were tamed, he could have kept aside the
usual compulsions.
Compulsions.
The usual compulsions.
Yes. And one more thing I would also say that in this, so far, of this 20 of this present composition, you have no representation even in Salsette and from Bardes. Bardes there is one. But even that the regional composition seems not correct.
Okay. Manoj, Siddharth, I'll come to you.
One more.
Yeah.
To say that composition of this is old Congress, they chose to give tickets that way. So
Yeah.
there was hardly any choice.
Yeah, correct. I can completely say. Manoj, very quickly, is it unfair to say that this is a kind of a past Congress heavy cabinet?
I don't give importance to such debates because they are the same faces who have been elected. See, now we have seen in Goa one tendency that the local politics is getting integrated with the mainstream. And that is happening all over the country, and that is bound to happen. Whoever is in power, people would like to stick to whoever is in power. So all the politics, the state level or the regional politics would be centralized. So what have you seen? Nothing different. We have seen the same faces. Powerful people are in power again, and therefore all these powerful people now are fortunately tamed by the BJP. Again, I use the word because of political compulsions and because there is no second alternative which can ever emerge. And we do not know unless there is a strong dissent. So today we see the same faces are much more disciplined. They behaved in much more,
Cordial manner.
and cordial manner as compared with respect to the party.
As compared to what they are doing in
compared to what
Congress.
they were doing in the past. So irrespective of whether the same faces, but their behavior has changed. So I don't give much importance to this debate of whether it's an old Congress or new Congress, makes no difference.
Yeah. Siddharth, yeah.
So look at it this way: if this naughty kid has changed his school and if he's become a better boy, what's the problem?
Disciplined
with the people?
boy.
He's become a more disciplined boy. What's the problem with the people now?
Yeah. So you're saying we all should welcome this new change. I'm completely out of time, but I can say one thing, because this is a mandate that has been given to this government. And when we talk about Pramod Sawant 2.0, I think the least we can expect as citizens is good and fair governance. Cleophas Bab, Derek, Manoj, Siddharth, thanks a lot for joining me on the show. Keep watching. Go ahead.